Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I am here with my home fragrance empties for the last week, and actually today I'm filming this. It is Thanksgiving. I hope that you all had a fantastic Thanksgiving with your friends and family. I'm really thankful for all of you that come and hang out with me, watch my videos on a regular basis. It means a lot to me. But I am filming this today rather than waiting till the weekend. Because I am done up, ready to go. So I'm trying to knock out a few videos on my list of things that I want to film. So this is a little bit probably smaller of an empties for the week than I was anticipating, but I'm also filming it a few days early. It is supposed to snow tomorrow night into Saturday, so Black Friday into the following Saturday, and I am not ready for snow. But safe to say, I think based on the weather forecast, I will be in my comfy cozies all weekend. And so I thought, while you're put together, why don't you get this video filmed? So a little bit less than normal, actually, but still a lot of great wax to share. Feel like Lavender and Speckles was the star of the show this week, but I have other vendors as well as Scentsy. I'm also drinking a protein iced coffee because I am starving. I'm like trying to hold out, but I couldn't any longer. So did the protein iced coffee just to get me to the afternoon so I can eat, Thanksgiving dinner. Okay, so let's start with Scentsy. I went through 4 clamshells this week. All 4 of them absolute winners. Love all of these. First, Meant to Be Merry. This was a November scent of the month. I want to say last year, was it? And they brought it back to the catalog. I love this so much. This is a very popular bar for a reason. Crushed candy cane, butter cookie, and sugar. It has that really nice butter cookie, bakery heavy mint. I love this bar. I melted this in my bedroom. I have many of them, and it's one of those fragrances I don't want to be without. Same for this one, Sleigh Ride. You guys know how I love the tree scents, and Scentsy just does tree so beautifully. Scentsy and Teddy Bees are, for me, the top tier tree fragrances. I also really like K's for tree too, but Scentsy and Teddy Bees, I would say, are my top tree making companies. Fantastic. This one has notes of crisp air, fir needle, and cranberry. You really don't get a lot of cranberry in this. It might just sweeten this bar up a little bit, but if you're not a cranberry fan, I would not let that deter you. You have to like tree though. This is tree, pack a punch, in your face. But I love the kind of crisp air note that it has, a slight sweetness I'm attributing to the cranberry. A beautiful bar, a great performer. These tree scents, not only do I think they just do tree very well, but they're always great performers. So love that one. Went through a bar of orange clove pomander, melted this one in my kitchen. And this is one, I'm gonna need to throw this in my club, I think. I believe this bar is available for the Always Get Your Bar promotion that they did. I'll have to double check. And originally it wasn't in my club because just of the sheer amount of other bars that there are. Plus I had a good stockpile of this. But the more I warm this, the more I love this scent. This is ginger, clove, and vanilla. This is one of those bars you can't really judge it on cold. To me, I actually don't really like it on cold at all. It comes off too spicy. Yeah, it's just not my favorite on cold. But on warm, it's spicy, but I feel like the spice calms down a little bit. And it almost gives me, stick with me here, it almost gives me a little bit of a smoky quality. I don't know what it is, but it's just a nice, warm, cozy orange holiday type of fragrance. Elizabeth was the reason that I even tried this scent in the first place. He was so right. This is a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. And I actually have a scent in a vendor wax from K's that I think Elizabeth would love that. So we'll talk about that when we get to vendor wax, but in any case. And then the last from Scentsy, Cheery Cherry. This was from the Scents of the Season collection last year, and I never melted this, and I wish that I would have, and I wish that I would have picked up a few more. I just put this in my bedroom, and oh wow, is this so pretty. This is Candied Cherry, Spiced Amber, Smoked Marshmallow, and Blackberry. Oh, you get that smoked marshmallow. It's a little bit musky. The cherry is not medicinal whatsoever. It's very sweet. It reminds me a lot of a cherry perfume, and not Tom Ford Lost Cherry, not like that, but just maybe not as heavy as that. Maybe a little bit sweeter, a little bit muskier. Gorgeous. This through all day, beautiful for the bedroom. I don't feel like I hear or heard anybody talk about this bar a year ago, and I don't know why I didn't warm it. I wish I would have, because I definitely would have done a one and done club just to get a few more bars of this. So if I see this one come back, I will definitely pick up more of Cheery Cherry. So that is it for Scentsy. Speaking of Elizabeth, let's do that first. From K's Scented Melts, I'm actually melting this out in my open concept right now. I went through 2 clams of Tinsel Tree. You guys, I love this so much. This is the first time I've ever had this scent. I got this back in July, and I knew once I got it and smelled it on cold that I was going to love this. And I've been waiting for a good day to warm it, and today just felt like the perfect day. This is orange zest, grapefruit, cedar, fir needle, and spice. This is the most beautiful orange heavy Christmas scent I think I've ever smelled. It is divine. It is so pretty. And I don't know if it's just the name or if it's something with the name and the notes, but this really gives me like vintage Christmas, vintage nostalgia. You know, it could just be the name tinsel or the word tinsel that's making me think that, you know, those old school Christmas trees. I love that style of decor. I think it's really beautiful and really fun. This just takes me back to that time. It just feels like a classic, vintage, cozy Christmas. It is so pretty. And I have both of these clams on my open concept. It's throwing incredibly well. And all throughout this afternoon, as I've been smelling it, I kept thinking, you know, I don't think Elizabeth has ever tried K's, or maybe she has, but I feel like this is a scent that she would really like, because not only does she love Christmas scents, but she likes orange and spice. And so if you ever tried K's, Elizabeth, I think you would really enjoy that one. Highly recommend it. And I think that she's opening back up in December, I believe, from like an ownership transition. I honestly don't really know all of the details of that, so I need to look on her Facebook to figure out what's going on. But it looks like her website is currently closed, but that it's going to be reopening. Okay, what next? A couple of other vendors that I just have one scent from. From Rose Girls, I melted Mario's Home for the Holidays. So I just talked about this scent in my latest Rose Girls haul. I did her Mario pre-order, a very, very small pre-order, and this was the scent that I went in for. I love this fragrance. This particular bag, Summer gifted me, so thank you, Summer. She gave it to me after hearing me just rant and rave about how good this scent was. So I actually put this in the warmers this morning. And I just told you I'm melting Tinsel Tree right now, so you can probably tell how this how this went, unfortunately. But this is Christmas Wish, Oh Christmas Tree, Toasted Marshmallow, Royal Sugar Cookie, and Vanilla Bean Noel. This bag I got absolutely nothing from, unfortunately. It's even a little bit light in the bag. I can smell something there, but it just wasn't very strong even on cold. And on warm, I just did not get anything from it. I left it in the warmers for probably 6 hours before I said, okay, I'm not smelling anything. I'm going to change the wax out. I do think with Rose Girls, at least in my experience, she is one of the vendors that I've had to kind of watch my wax. If something has sat around too long, it tends to sometimes lose its scent. So I probably will take out one of the bags that I just bought from her and see if I can melt it this holiday season, because I love this scent and I really wanted to smell it. And unfortunately, it just did not do it for me today. But I appreciate, Summer, you sending this to me. And, you know, that's okay. Not everything is going to perform the way you want, right? From Southbound, I finished off my very last Southbound scent. I have no more Southbound in my collection. Finished off Lavender Cream Puffs. I got this one because this is Summer's absolute favorite lavender, at least at one point it was. She talked about this scent so much, and for good reason. This is a beautiful lavender bakery. Lavender bakery pastry dough, creamy vanilla custard, sweet cream, and confectioner's sugar. I did really enjoy this one. I kept this in my bedroom, one of my nightstand drawers. I have filled with lavender and peppermint and just nighttime kind of soothing bedroom fragrances. And so this has been living in there for its life. And every so often I go pick out a couple pieces and I put it in the bedroom at night. And I loved this. It was absolutely fantastic. However, one of the things that I am trying to do is to just minimize the amount of vendors that I have in my collection. Like, I buy so much Scentsy and I have so much Teddy Bees, and I just, Second and Spruce and Lavender and Speckles, I know what works for me at this point, and I know what I like. I know my preferences. And so there's always going to be new vendors. There's always going to be people making wax, and that is fantastic. And I know here and there I will try new vendors for sure, but I'm trying to really narrow my scope of who I'm buying from. And I've made a ton of progress in that area. So as much as I enjoyed this and loved this and highly recommend it, I'm not going to go search for it, because I have other lavender bakeries from Second and Spruce, from Super Tarts, just from other vendors that I like just as much, if not more than this. So highly recommend. Beautiful scent, but I just have plenty of other lavender bakeries. From Second and Spruce, finished off a mini loaf in roasty toasty eggnog. This was from her winter sampler that she did, not this past summer, but the summer before, so summer of 2024. I went through many, many loaves of this, and luckily I have one more of this scent. When I went to go take this out of my spreadsheet, I was thinking, oh gosh, I wish I had more of that. And I do, as long as my spreadsheet is accurate, which occasionally it's not. I mean, you can only do the best you can do, right? But hopefully it's accurate. And I do have another roasty toasty eggnog sitting somewhere, because I love this scent. I love her eggnog. I've talked about her eggnog a lot. It is by far the best eggnog out there. It is so good. This is toasted mallow, roasted pine cone, cinnamon sugar, and eggnog. I love roasted pine cone. You do get like a cinnamon sugary spice. It's very sweet. It's a rich, creamy, buttery eggnog. I love this. I love Second and Spruce's performance. I had a span there for a while that I was kind of struggling with performance, but maybe it was just that time of year that I was melting things, because ever since then, I haven't had any problems at all. This went the whole day, and this was poured August of 2024. So a little over a year old and amazing. I loved every second of that. Let's do Teddy B's next, and then we'll end with Lavender and Speckles, because I feel like hers was kind of the star of the show this week. Went through 2 souffles, one of them in Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Another, this was just offered in the last pre-order, and I did pick up another souffle of it, but this particular one is a little bit older, a lot older. This was poured in October of 2023. This is fresh baked cookies, candy canes, and Christmas trees. Beautiful scent. I did this in the open concept. This time around, I really got a lot of the mint and the cookie. It was very mint heavy in my opinion, which I'm not mad about. In the past, I feel like I've gotten more of the cookie and the tree. This go around, maybe it was just my nose this time, I felt like I got a lot of mint. Beautiful scent. Really enjoy this, and I know it's one that Christine loves. Today, back in the bedrooms for this morning, I melted I Heart Vanilla roasted pine cones. So I really do like this scent a lot, but the longevity of it is just not great. So I have something from Lavender and Speckles in the bedrooms now. So this, I would say, lasted probably 6 to 7 hours before I took it out. So honestly, with the amount of wax that I have, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with changing the warmers after 6 or 7 hours. If I didn't have the wax that I had, I wouldn't be happy with that. Does that make sense? Like, since I have so much wax, it's no biggie to change it out. But if I had a more minimal stash, or I wanted wax to last the whole day, I wouldn't be very happy. You know, it's just the perspective where you're at in life, I guess. But this is her I Heart Vanilla blended with roasted pine cones. I have enjoyed this in the past. I think this was my second souffle I went through. And then I have one more souffle in my collection. To me, this is like 75% I Heart Vanilla, 25% roasted pine cone, but it is a really pretty scent. Probably not one I would get again. I like it. I don't love it. And she's always coming out with new blends. So I would rather be getting her new blends, but I really enjoy her I Heart Vanilla in general. And then lastly, from Teddy B's, I have been waiting to melt this one, Surfside Holiday Shop. So good. So essentially this is her Surfside Sweet Shop blended with creamy peppermint meringue and the scent of Christmas trees. Everything about this screams my name. I love Surfside Sweet Shop. If you were to try one scent from Teddy B's, that's the one that I would recommend you try. I feel like it's just a fan favorite. It is so good. I love peppermint and I love her Christmas tree. So just adding all of those together, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. You get the peppermint and you get the tree, I feel like the heaviest, but in the back you get this very creamy, butter cookie marshmallowy scent. Very bakery heavy, peppermint and tree. Almost reminds me of like Santa Claus is Coming to Town. If you like that type of fragrance, but you want more vanilla, more bakery to it, Surfside Holiday Shop. And this one has just like maybe the tinge of the beach nights, the salty sea air. So you do have to like her beach nights, her beach treats to enjoy this. But I loved this. I did this in my open concept. Beautiful scent. And luckily I have 2 more tubs of that. So I'm not complaining there. Okay, and then lastly is Lavender and Speckles. First, I went through a like snap bar in Santa's cookie tray. I melted this one back in this wax room, and to be honest, I did not get much performance from this. This is milk and cookies, gingerbread, vanilla wafers, and fireside marshmallows. I'm not a huge gingerbread fan though. I love Second and Spruce's gingerbread, especially when she mixes it with eggnog, but I'm not a huge fan of really anybody else's gingerbread. It's just a little too spicy for me. I don't know. This smells very gingerbread bakery on cold, but I didn't get much from that on warm. And then what's in my bedrooms currently? So I melted the I Heart vanilla roasted pine cones this morning. And then when that died, I changed it out for cranberry balsam. I believe my friend Judy gifted me this, so thank you, Judy, if you are watching. Felt like this was an appropriate Thanksgiving scent because it has cranberry in it. This is Cranberry Woods, the Bath & Body Works type, blended with balsam fir. And you can tell how old this bag is just by the label. I think this is some of her original packaging. This is great. I like cranberry a lot. I love Cranberry Woods. You definitely get Cranberry Woods. I think that is the most prominent note, but I get the balsam tree as well. This is really, really nice. Really cozy cranberry scent. Definitely would get that again. And then I went through 2 large bags that I had done in custom. So one is my custom, one is not. Let's start with this one first. Pine and Pear. So this is not one of my customs. This was a scent that was in the Birchwood Pine sampler. Now, she did that sampler, and for whatever reason, that pre-order, I did not pick up that sampler. You know how it goes with her. She's got so many scents, and she probably had other samplers that I was getting, and so at some point you have to make choices, right? So I didn't get the Birchwood Pine sampler. She sent me a sample of this and an order, I guess. It was unbelievable. So then I was messaging her like, do you have any extra Birchwood Pine samplers? I would buy it from you. And long story short, she didn't, but I wrote this scent down so that I could either request it or when it was time for customs, I could get a bag of it. And that's what I did. So Pine and Pear. This is Birchwood Pine, Fresh Pear, and Icy Vanilla Woods. I went through a whole large bag, and I did this throughout the whole house. This was in the open concept. This was in the bedrooms, everywhere. I really love this. The pear is so pretty. It's sweet. It kind of reminds me of the pear that's in like honey spice pear or like a candied pear, but then you get the icy vanilla woods. This is bright and crisp and fresh Birchwood Pine. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Love this one so much. Absolutely would get Pine and Pear again. You have to like pear though to like that. If you don't like pear, do not get that one. And lastly, on the Birchwood Pine theme, this is a custom that I did. This is Citrus Pine Noel. Beth named it. And this is Birchwood Pine Christmas Wreath and Roasted Pine Cone. So there's another scent that she has that was Birchwood Pine, Christmas Wreath, and something. I can't remember what the third oil was. And I was like, oh, I don't really love that third oil, but Birchwood Pine and Christmas Wreath sounds so good together. So when I did my customs, I just took out whatever that third oil was and I put in roasted pine cones. Oh my gosh, is this phenomenal. And I'm not just saying that because I'm the one that put these notes together. This is so pretty. I think Christmas Wreath is the Bath & Body Works Winter Citrus Wreath or something type. So it's some tree, it's some orange. You definitely get orange citrus in here, but you get the tree, the woodsiness. Oh, it is so perfect for this time of year. Like Thanksgiving through the New Year's. It is just a classic tree Christmas. Oh my gosh, it is so, so good. So not to toot my horn on that one because this was all Beth that put these notes together, but really loved that combination. Okay, that is it. Those are all of my empties for this last little week. I really hope that you guys enjoyed. Thank you so very much for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to do so. And I will see you oh so soon in my next one. Bye.